up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Monday. Let's kick the week off in the right fashion. Let's do it. Let's get into it. You know the drill. Please visit thebuckeyecast.com. Check out the shop. We got t-shirts galore. They're tri-blend, like this bad mother right here, Built Ohio Tough. You can also buy some of the products right below this video if you're watching on YouTube. But check out the thebuckeyecast.com. Everything's on sale, and get yourself something for summer. All right, let's get into it here. We're talking about freshmen, impact freshmen on this 2024 season for the Buckeyes. Offense, defense. We've got 22 guys, true freshmen. We're not talking redshirt freshmen. These are true freshmen. We're talking early enrollees. We got some summer enrollees coming in here in a couple of weeks. So who's going to have the most impact? Who might not have any? You know, we're going to talk about possible redshirt situations and things like that. So let's get into it. We'll start off with the quarterbacks, most important position in football. So first off, everybody's well aware that this room is probably too deep. Like, we have too many options right now. So with 5 quarterbacks in there, you got Julian Sayin. I know he had 34 snaps in the spring game. Aaron Nolan had 23, but I think both these guys are redshirt candidates. There's not a real reason, at least obviously barring injury, you lose your top 3 quarterbacks, and then some of these guys are going to be thrust into duty. But for Sayin and Nolan, I don't see how you need to play them more than 4 games. And these would be, garbage snaps, not really meaningful reps. That's how I see it going for the quarterback room. So like I said, redshirt situations for both guys, Sayin and Nolan. All right, let's move on to the running back room. Now, this is the exact opposite situation. We need depth. We need quality dudes. The old pair and a spare thing out the window. We need 3 that can play. And, you got Trey, Quinshawn, leading the room. But James Peoples and Sam Williams-Dixon will play. They will not redshirt, I don't think. I really don't see a situation. I mean, those are your 4 backs. I don't know if TC Caffey is going to get a scholarship. And if he does, there's nobody. I don't know if he can jump Peoples in SWD. I know he's been there for 3 years, but I don't know if he's better than James Peoples. I kind of doubt it. I don't think he's better than Sam Williams-Dixon. So Peoples and Sam Williams-Dixon, they will play and not redshirt. I got Peoples. He had 31 snaps in the spring game. That was the most of the running backs. Sam Williams-Dixon had 27. So, of course, Trey Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins were held out, limited. They did not need to put in big-time snaps in the spring game, of course. So, anyways, a very deep room, or a very thin room that needs depth, quality depth. So I got Peoples and Williams-Dixon both playing this year and being impactful. I'm talking a couple hundred snaps maybe for James Peoples, So let's make sure their pass protection is up to snuff and get them in there in some meaningful situations early in the year, hopefully. And those guys were early enrollees. So by the time the season rolls around, you're looking at 9 months in the program. I know it's not a full year yet, but they look the part. I think they're ready, especially Peoples. So wide receivers. Now, I know we talk a lot about how Ohio State's wide receiver recruiting is best in the country. Hartline is the GOAT, right? The all-time greatest recruiter ever. But they need depth. They need freaking depth. They've lost some receivers due to, I would call it bad recruiting in that 22 class. And then just guys moving on, you've lost some guys. Depth is needed. Where's my fancy scholarship chart? Yeah, we got 8. And that includes Mylan Graham, who's coming in this summer. So right now you just have 7. I don't know if you can plan on a true freshman who comes in the summertime to play much and be very impactful. I don't think so. I think Milan Graham might be a redshirt candidate. Maybe he'll play a little late in the year if we have some blowout situations. But Jeremiah Smith, I don't think there's any doubt. He's going to be a starter week one, game one. He saw action in the spring game with the first team offense. He had 21 snaps, and they tried to limit him. They still gave him 21, man. So Ryan Day said it during the game. He said, we want to try and limit Jeremiah. And obviously it's because they consider him to be a starter. So other than Jeremiah, you got Ennis, Tate, Bryson Rogers. Those guys are going to get a ton of snaps. Ennis and Tate for sure. Emeka, of course, is going to lead the way. So, and we don't know where Kojo Antwi fits in. Jaden Ballard, fifth-year guy. Where's he fit in? I don't know. So we'll see. But we need depth there, quality depth. So if an injury happens to a starter, look the hell out. That could be a problem. So, yeah, Milan Graham, probably red shirts. Jeremiah, yes, he will play a lot. Tight ends, of course, this is a huge developmental position. You got Demarion Witten coming from Glenville over the summer. He's not there yet. Same with Max LeBlanc coming in from Tennessee. I think both those guys are probably redshirt candidates just because the development required. Demarion is actually going to start with the receivers to add a little bit of depth there, but I don't see him having an impact either way. If anybody, I would say Milan Graham would be more impactful than Demarion Witten. I just don't see guys, two tight ends that come in the summertime being A, physically ready, and B, ready for the grind of a Big Ten schedule. So, and they won't really be required to do much. We have 5 tight ends, so that have been around. So I think we can feel better about that. So I think both tight ends are redshirt candidates and probably won't have much development. O-line, same here. A lot of development is required. You're never going to have a true freshman. You shouldn't have a true freshman starting on your O-line. You're lucky. I mean, best case scenario, they squeeze their way into it too deep. And that's if you have major depth issues, but we don't really have that. Ian Moore played 46 snaps in the spring game. That's a lot. Respectable there. He played some right tackle with the third team O-line. And then Deontay had 46 snaps as well. And Devontae had 6. Gabe Van Sickle is not on campus yet. So those are your 4 O-linemen coming in. Now, Ian Moore is the one I could see maybe squeezing into the depth chart, maybe a third tackle, the right or left, I'm not sure. And the Armstrong twins, again, true freshmen, I can't see them really contributing a lot. You just physically have to get ready, not to mention the playbook and, the cohesion, the learning to play with the other offensive linemen. So defensive ends, we have a ton of depth here, quality depth, right? You got Jack and JT, of course, and then behind them, you got 2 juniors, third-year dudes in Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry. Then you got Mickens. So I think Edric Houston, he had 44 snaps in the spring game. I think he could be a third teamer. He'll get some snaps for sure. They're going to need depth, especially on that D line. You got to keep those boys fresh. And then Edric Houston comes in this summer. I don't think they're 100% sure if he's a D end or a D tackle. Is he a strong side end, or are they going to put weight on him and move him down inside? So I don't see Dominic Kirks having a huge impact at all. But Edric Houston for sure will definitely. And being an early enrollee, that always factors in. That's huge. So I think he gets in there, and he's already physically close to a college football player. So I think you see him maybe early in the year in some of those non-con blowout games. Defensive tackle, we just have one, Eric Mensah. He had 23 snaps in the spring game. He'll probably redshirt, though. Again, same situation. We have a lot of depth, high-quality depth, dudes that have played a lot. You got Ty Hamilton, Tyleik Williams. Then you still got fifth-year guy, Taiwan Malone, Hero Canoe. He's looking at possibly a breakout year. Cade McDonald, Jason Moore. Larry Johnson talked a lot about Jason Moore. Will Smith Jr. hasn't even seen the field yet. Is he ready? So, yeah, I don't see Mensah having much of an impact at all. Again, probably a redshirt candidate, and he can develop. Play 4 games. That's fine. Linebackers, same situation here. This entire defense is pretty much loaded with some depth. Safeties gets a little thin, but linebackers are loaded. You had Garrett Stover. He came in, had 27 snaps in that spring game. It looked a little undersized, though, so he's going to have to put on some pounds before I really feel good about him in a game. So possible redshirt candidate there. Peyton Pierce, with the foot injury lingering from high school, didn't do anything in spring camp. So I think he's probably a redshirt candidate. Get his body in shape. Get some weight on him, good weight, and in the strength program, and maybe we'll see you in 2025. I wouldn't push it, because you got Cody Simon, C.J. Hicks, Gabe Powers, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. If you're only playing 2 linebackers typically, or even the occasional third linebacker in a 4-3 set, you're not going to need a true freshman to squeeze in there. And we don't know what's going on with Court Williams. That could be another dude in the linebacker room. Hopefully he's healing up. Corners, again, ton of depth. Aaron Scott is the one I see having an impact. He had 72 snaps in the freaking spring game, man. That's a lot. And he looked good, too. He did not look out of place. He wasn't getting toasted and roasted. Miles Lockhart had 52 snaps. That's respectable. And Bryce West was a little dinged up, did not play in the spring game, but he has that track speed that you love. And he has versatility. He played a lot of safety in high school, so he can play about anywhere. But anyway, Aaron Scott is the one of the 3 I see really having an impact, because you got Burke, Hancock, IGB. Those are your starters. Then behind them, you got Calvin Simpson Hunt, Jermaine Matthews Jr., Lorenzo Styles Jr. That's probably your second wave of dudes. So you got Lockhart, West, and Aaron Scott. I think Aaron Scott is the one that's ready. I think you could put him out there in some of these early non-conference games against Akron or whoever, and let him get some reps. Some meaningful. Well, as meaningful as an Akron game can be, get some freaking snaps at least. See some live action. So Aaron Scott's the one I'm looking at in that cornerback room to actually have an impact on this season. Safeties. Now, this is where we do need depth, even with the transfer of the South Carolina dude, Nelson, that came in last week. But Jalen McLean, 47 snaps in the spring game, second team defense. Then you got Leroy Roker coming in this summer from Fort Myers. And I think McLean definitely is going to be in that 2 deep. And shit, you got Ransom, Caleb Downs as your starters. Then Nelson's going to be a nice depth piece. Bonsu looked good as a depth piece. Malik Hartford was out with the injury, had a little shoulder surgery or something. So he'll be adding depth. So McLean will get some reps, maybe third string. But those guys, those third stringers across the board are going to get some action this year. They have to. Like the coaches keep saying, depth is going to have to be developed and depth is going to play. So, yeah, I think McLean will definitely get some reps. So I see him having a little bit of an impact. as especially in these blowouts and stuff like that. So yeah, the guys I'm really watching, my impact guys, Peoples, James Peoples, Sam Williams-Dixon, Jeremiah Smith, possibly Ian Moore on the O-line, definitely Edric Houston on the D-line, Aaron Scott at corner, and Jalen McClain at safety. So let me know what you guys think. Is there somebody you have your eyes on? Let me know who and why. All right, hit me in the comments or call, text, email, you know the shit. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.